Hey, welcome to the Flip Another Side. We're finally gonna get to this Stranger Things review. I know it's almost been a month since it's come out. Just kind of my thing, late reviews. But here we go. This is my favorite show of all time. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello? I seriously have no idea where the food went. I feel like I should be freaking out more than I am, but this place kinda sucks anyways. No, let's actually not find it. Maybe if I jump back up. Okay. No, that doesn't do anything. Okay. I don't know how to get back. How do I get back? Maybe I know what I'll do. I'll repeat everything I just said. Guys, this isn't working. Maybe if I touch it. What the flip? Alright, we're actually gonna get this review going now. I have my notes that I have been holding on to for quite a bit now, and we're gonna flip and rock with it. So, okay, that clock ticking was really Vecna. That was Vecna. Hold on. Stuck in 2002? And Vecna's clock? Some scary crap going on today. What is happening? Hello? Yeah. I just got stuck in 2002. And it was a little bit scary, but also kind of better. Okay. Don't call again. You got it. Alright, boss. I built these Legos because I'm a nerd and I'm 27. What the flip? Alright, we're actually gonna get to it. I'm sorry. I know I'm all over the place. Man, 2026, we're almost 1 month in. I can still hear that ticking. Is that the loudest clock on the planet? Give me a second. Alright, clock. You're going upstairs for a second. Okay. My nose is just gonna be flowing because it's been Niagara Falls for the past week. I thought when this year hit, maybe I didn't actually believe this, but I thought when this year hit, whoa, all these things that I wanted to do would kind of hit the ground running. They haven't. So I'm in a weird little waiting period now, and I have this, time scares me. I've wasted so much of my life, as I've said beforehand, so now I just feel like time's ticking constantly. It's a sick game because before I had all the time in the world and I was doing nothing with it. I guess I know I still have a lot of time left. I'm still young, but in my head I don't, because I have so many big dreams and things that I want to do. But now I don't really have as much time, but I can't do the things yet. That's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna, alright, it's fine. We're figuring it out. It's the beginning of the year. I'm having my patience. I'm staying calm. And it's gonna be okay. And I hope you all are having a good year. And I love you. And I wish the best for you all the time. Okay. I have my handy dandy notes here. And we're gonna get right to it. I feel like you're really high up. Am I like looking at you? That's okay, ladies and gentlemen. Stranger Things 5 review. Alright. I'm probably gonna hop around. My first note is about Hopper. That's really ironic. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, looks like I'm missing a leg. Doesn't it look like I'm flipping missing a leg? Oh, Hopper. I know he was in Vietnam, but that dude is like 1v8ing the current military and like special ops. That is crazy. He looks so sick with the flipping big beard, and he just, oh, I love that guy. I feel like his speeches, and he just is the epitome of love. He'll just sacrifice himself in a split second, and he won't hesitate because of how much he loves these people especially Elle. And you can't ask much more from a man. I mean, obviously like the bare minimum stuff, but you know what I mean. Like, that is a beautiful thing. But I don't think it was all bad. And maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I still was into it. Could it have been, could it have been better? Absolutely. But I still liked it. There's no other way to say that. I still found myself enjoying the show. Everyone lost their light, especially Dustin. This season, there was just, other than Delightful Derek, I love that guy. They weren't happy, which understandably, why would you be happy? I mean, look at everything they've gone through, but I think they did a good job of showing that. I guess Robin was pretty happy because she had that job and she got the girl and stuff. She was pretty happy too. Another thing I think they did a really good job at is the government being so flippin' annoying that it makes you not like them. There's always some toxic flippin' leader and they just weaponize everything. That did a good job of keeping that realistic. Because that is exactly what America would do. Those flippin' Demogorgons were going nuts before the demo fatigue. They were going nuts. I think there was even a part where one of them flipping grabbed a guy and then alley-ooped him like way to LeBron and then they slammed on the ground. Like, could you imagine being that guy just getting tossed around like a rag doll? Absolutely embarrassing. Could never be me. Holly Wheeler, she got the most screen time, I'm pretty sure, out of all the characters this year. So she's a good actor. I think they should have centered a little bit more around the original group. It didn't bother me too much. It really didn't. Didn't make me too upset. I can't stop looking at the fact that it looks like I have one leg. I just looked outside. Did you know that it's a high of 8 degrees and a low of -3? What is that? There was just something missing about this whole thing. And I know that they kind of forgot their own lore here and there, and they had a lot of plot holes that they didn't touch on. I understand that, and maybe that's why I'm feeling this way. I just felt an underwhelming feeling about this season. I still liked it, I still enjoyed it, but I did rewatch it 3 times. The second watch, I did like it a little bit more. The third watch, I was more critical of it. The first one, I had moments where I was hyped, but I wasn't hyped all the time. I even found myself sometimes being like, The only time I ever felt that in Stranger Things was that one little episode or 2 episodes where Elle went to go see Callie and that weird little ragtag group of criminals. I feel like I'm gonna sound like I'm hating on this. No, I actually liked it. Was I disappointed? Sure. I just didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. Walking down Wheeler's parents. A bunch of dogs, man. I didn't think Ted had it in him. I mean, he got rocked. He really didn't do anything. But he was pretty brave in that moment. Derek. Probably the star of the season. Well, he's so funny, man. Hollywood's a little bit creepy, so I hope that they treat that kid with respect and kindness because he's a flippin' kid. Don't be weird, don't be creepy, but he's definitely talented. His comedic timing is very good. He could be a star. I could really see it. That kid's got moxie. Every time he was on screen, you felt it, you know? So, suck my fat one! Flippin' Callie's back. Number 8, whatever you want to call her, she's back. You incorporated her early on in the show. You had to close that tie, right? So I'm not mad that she came back, but she was kind of useless. I think you needed to give her a little bit more to do. People hate that character. Let's not hate the actor. They're a human being, but she might be the most hated. I think she is the most hated character in Stranger Things. She just didn't have much to her. I don't know. I think they could have done a lot better job with that. Bringing her back. She did give us some crazy news, hence like, you know, the fact she was being poked and prodded all this time and used to, they were stealing these women and making them pregnant with powerful babies, which they didn't touch on that after that either. Like, what happened to those women? Are they having magical babies or are they not? But maybe they'll touch on that with some spin-off or something, but this is what I'm going to tell you what happened. I know exactly what happened. Why they had all these plot holes while they were starting things, not finishing them. They simply got overwhelmed. Eminem said in a song once, I can never top what my name is. And I think they got a little bit of that. They saw how big this show was, and I think they got cold feet. I think they got nervous. I think they didn't want to upset us. But when you approach something like that, anything, especially arts, if you come in saying, I don't want to upset anybody, you're going to make something that is subpar or mediocre. You're making something for someone else instead of just making art. It seems like they actually cared, and maybe it was just a place of anxiety or stress because they didn't have the finale even written when going into production. This show is important to a lot of people. But I don't know, it wasn't a good look not having that finale written and just kind of winging it. just didn't make sense here and there. Like not having the Demogorgons in that final fight, the bats, saying demo fatigue. That's not realistic. That's not true. That's not how it should have gone. Somebody should have died. I think Will should have died when Vecna died because they were connected. I think that would have been a hard-hitting moment. I think they should have killed somebody off, and they just didn't. They played it so super safe, like you just landed on a Tempur-Pedic bed. Alright, that was kind of on a tangent. I hate this. Ow, my leg. Oh, whoa, it grew back. What the flip? Yeah, I just hate that. Come here. That's better. I hate that it sounds like I'm hating on it. I'm really not. I just think that we deserved a little bit better. Oh, I'm having a lot of puke burps today. Absolutely disgusting. Graphics in here, the CGI didn't look bad either. I didn't think they looked bad. I think Vecna looked great. People said he kind of looked very Ultron-y, which I could see it, but I still thought his character design was pretty cool. Yeah, I'd say one of the best scenes in this season was when Will got powers. That was really cool and a great way to end off episode 4, I believe it was. But it was definitely a nice full circle moment to see him having that ability to do that. Dustin's sad, man. He's pushing Steve away and being rude, and I understand though. You gotta think he's a young teenage boy. They don't know what the flip's going on, and when you lose someone that close to you, you don't know how to handle it. So he's pushing Steve away so that he doesn't get hurt if he were to lose him too, all these things. But it's just really sad seeing this guy for 4 seasons had been so full of jokes and smiles and happiness to just darkness and getting beat up, and you could just see it in his eyes, like he is so unhappy. That made me really sad. Eddie's name never got cleared. They think that dude was still like some crazy psycho lunatic when he was actually like a good man. And maybe that's exactly how it would go. I just hate seeing that. Like, he did not get closure. He got nothing but death. Again, something that I wish they gave a little bit more importance to was how everyone went to high school together. I think they could have done so much with that, and they didn't. That could have been something so deep and profound and unique. They didn't do it. They just kind of brushed past it and used it as some memory, saying Mr. Wheeler's pumping Miss Wheeler over there and Hopper sneaking a joint. It's like, okay. I don't know. I think they should have did something with that. I do love that the characters were kind. Last season, Mike annoyed the crap out of me. And maybe that was just because he was just really growing and he was a teenage boy and his mind was just going crazy and he didn't approach Elle the right way and he was being rude to Will. But this season, he matured like a mother and I loved every second of it. He's growing up and he's becoming humble and respectful, and I just love that. I love that. The writing was a little bit wonky. It really was. I have some lines in here that, are here amongst my notes. Wow, my brain okay? Dude, my brain feels off today. It feels like froyo, yogurt, or mashed potatoes. Lucas was smashing the top of the wall to get through the thing, and they're like, it's a hard wall. Or a hard ceiling, and he's like, I'll soften it. It's like, dude, what the flip? And then there was like at the beginning where Dustin was getting bullied and Lucas came up again and he was like, this time I'll hit your balls so hard they'll go up. Or something weird like that. I was like, new line. Just moments like that where you're like, what? I thought 11 was pretty cool this season. Her power and her fight scenes, as the new kids kind of call it, aura. I think she had some of that in this season. I really do. I think she could do that little push off the ground now where she could fly a little bit. And she was all business from the start. There was no playing with her this whole entire season. It felt like something was off this season, which is why so many people were thinking the conformity gate thing was going to happen, because the whole vibe of this show felt wonky and weird, and the characters felt a little weird, and the writing felt a little bit weird, and the plot holes, and it seemed like it would have been some sort of vision or fake reality. But no, it's flipping real. That military leader, that woman, had a pretty useless character. Like, she was just mean just to be mean. I don't think you need a big, mean bad like that all the time. I don't. I think it's a little bit corny. I think just collectively make them evil because they all have the same goal. You don't have to have some woman that's like, or man, that's just like, well, I'm a bad mother trucker, I'm gonna do all this evil. It's like, you don't need that. You don't need that. You can get that from the whole government because they're all one entity. I think that was a little cornbally. I think she was a useless character. Oh man, I sound like such a negative flippin' Nelly. Stop! knock it off. I really liked how Robin was there for Will. I think that is a beautiful thing, especially in that time period where it was not as accepting. You know, it's hard to approach that alone, I would imagine. Obviously, I've never been there, and I never will, so I can't fathom how hard that is. But I can imagine it's pretty challenging, and it must feel so isolating. So I loved that connection that they had, because she's been in his shoes. There were just so many beautiful quotes that came from Robin to Will, and just seeing Will smile and knowing he had someone there. I loved every second of that. That was a wonderful thing for me. It made my heart smile. Made my heart smile? That's not even possible. It's okay. My brain's shot and I have goosebumps for no apparent reason. Maybe because it's -8 degrees outside. Hey, are we having an ice age? We might be. Terrible. Please get away from me. Back to the Will's power thing. That scene was so cool. Where he was like this, he was like, oh, and you saw the flipping thing flapping. Oh, that was awesome, man. That was awesome. And he wiped his flipping nose like I'm doing right now because it's not blood, it's boogers. Stop. Lucas is a real one, man. We need to find someone like Lucas. What a loyal, caring man. I just love Lucas so much. He just cares so much about Max, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He never left her side, and he never will. I just love love. I love love. A smile is something special. A ribbon I'd like to wear. Dustin and Steve fighting, just a culmination of all these things, was so sad to watch. I hated every second of that, and you could see how much that hurt Steve and how much it hurt Dustin. All his trauma came back up when he thought Steve would have died, when he would have gone across that ladder, and he would have died. He would have fell down that huge flipping hole. Their connection is also one of the most beautiful things in the show, and they need each other, and they're always going to have each other. And I don't know, I really liked that. That was a heartfelt moment for me, and it was just absolutely wonderful, but sad. The lingo in here is so funny, like the suck my fat one, and I've actually been using these because y'all know I don't swear. Barf bag, that's so funny. Amanda calls someone a flippin' barf bag. Hey, you flippin' barf bag, suck my fat one. Yes! That is so much better than saying all these cuss words. No, let's start saying that crap. That's funny. I haven't seen anybody else kind of mention this, but for me, there were moments where it felt like they held scenes a little too long. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. It felt a little eerie and awkward because they didn't cut at the right points and go to the next scene. There was one in particular that was when Will was crying to Joyce. I just feel like it lasted a little too long. Like it was like they were talking, he was crying, and then like the crying lasted for like 10 more seconds, and I was like, alrighty, let's go to the next one, shall we? But they didn't. Yeah, that's a hey, we're just full of complaints, aren't we? Man, Nancy, I don't know where she learned this. She had no training, I don't think, whatsoever. She just became literally Walking Down Wheeler. There's a reason she's got that nickname. In the final fight scene, I thought she looked so cool, man. Very Rambo-esque. The fight scene should have lasted longer. They should have had Demogorgons, they should have had bats, and the scene should have lasted a little bit longer. Because that's the big bad. And I know that they've been fighting this thing for 5 seasons now, but this is the most powerful form that it could possibly be. It should have killed somebody. I don't know. I wish there was some sort of way that they can go back and remake this final episode, or even the final fight scene. Somebody should be gone, because that's not realistic. You see how flippin' huge it is, and I know this is fiction and it's not reality. You gotta make some of it believable. Like, there's no way all of these mother truckers are escaping that thing all alive. No, that's not real. That's not a real thing. And how did they get up that canyon so fast? What did they fly too? Oh, that was like, again, a writing plot hole. That's not realistic. How did they get up there in 10 seconds? That is not real. I love Steve so much. Steve is by far my favorite character. He is just a steady rock for all these kids and these people, and I just love him. I love him, and he deserves so much good. He deserves good everything, and he ends up becoming a teacher and coaching baseball, and just, man, he's just such a good guy. He wants to be a dad. His character development was amazing, and he's just a good man, and there's not many good men left, so we love that. And then Max shows up, and her mind, because she died but didn't die, she was in that his little secret village thing, running for her life. That was actually good writing. I think that was pretty cool. Again, could they have done more with it? Sure, but I thought that was a good twist, and I got hyped when I saw Max. I mean, not just because it's Sadie Sink, but I think it's so funny. Hopper has the best intuition throughout the entire show. He knows when someone's full of phooey. Every time he'd look at Callie, he'd be like, "You flipping mother." He hated her. I thought that was really funny. Man, that was pretty gory when Vecna first showed himself right before Will got his powers, and he stuck his flipping hands through that guy's face. That was sick, man. Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love gore. I'm not crazy. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not crazy. I just like to see a little blood here and there. In movies and shows. Okay. Where the flip is Susie? Again, something that they did not touch on. She had such a big role between these things, and like she had so much importance, and it's just like they broke up. I don't know. I just think that was weird how she had such a big thing in these past seasons, and then just like nothing, gone. I love that Joyce is finally trusting Will a little bit, not babying him as much. She is a good mom and she cares and she wants him to be safe, but sometimes being too helicopter-y actually makes them more unsafe in a way. This sounds really psycho of me to say, but I love the fact that Jonathan and Nancy broke up. I really do. They were not meant... They were not meant for each other. They were not meant for each other. Sometimes when two people are going through shared trauma and they're put in the same room together, maybe they are a little bit similar. It's easy to confuse just simple attraction to we should date. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. You know, like those puzzle pieces that they still fit together, but they're not where they're supposed to go. You know what I'm talking about? This is a weird analogy, but that I think was them. And I'm also flipping so glad that Steve did not go back to that woman. Oh, please no. I know he was a bad guy at first. Yeah, I didn't like that. But Steve is a good guy now, and I think they just all need completely different things. Jonathan just needs to focus on his weird little film. Nancy is a flippin' boss woman. She gotta do her thing. And Steve is just a family man. He's just caring, he's loving, he feels a lot. And that's his role. He needs to find a woman that wants that same thing. Again, one of the things that they did not touch on, why a lot of people thought Conformity Gate was going to be a thing, or even if it wasn't Conformity Gate, they would have explained that somehow, was like the memories having different colors in reality. Why? You didn't touch on that. I think they could have made something really cool about that. I really do. I think they could have made something spectacular with that whole ideology that something's a little bit off with these realities. Hello? Am I okay? What is happening to my body? When Lucas was in that elevator about to go down, you're trying to tell me this dude had a full-blown Demogorgon running at his face about to kill him, and he like kicks it across the room and then the elevator closes? Come on, man. I know it's fiction, like I said, but you gotta be realistic. If you want them to stay living, that's okay, that's cool. You gotta come up with something else. You gotta come up with something else, because that is not how that works. Demogorgon, you know how strong Demogorgons are? Lucas's leg is not flipping smashing a Demogorgon across the room. No, that's not a thing, especially with somebody in his arms. That's not logical. I didn't like that at all. Like, what are you doing, man? Run! Run, Forrest, run! Lucas is a great actor. I think he's going to have a pretty good career after this. I think he showed a lot of acting chops in this. Other than like the cringy writing, he's very good. The hardest thing in acting is the emotional scenes. Every single one he had, he knocked it out of the park. It was believable, it was real. It wasn't overreacting. He was able to get the tears out. He was amazing. He was amazing. Oh, speaking of that, you guys know I want to be an actor. Not be a macho manny, I've said this before, but I can't cry in real life. I don't cry in real life. Even when I want to cry, tears just don't come out. It's just dry in there. It's like you're holding an air dryer to both of my eyes, so nothing happens. But I've been practicing, so I was like, I have to be able to do that on command at some point if I want to get some sort of role. So I've literally been practicing, and I've been sitting there thinking of really sad things and playing sad music and trying to get tears out. And I was playing D&D. Hey, this is kind of connecting me. I was playing D&D with a couple of my friends, and I got the spell on me where I felt immense sorrow, and I was thinking of trauma and just past stuff. and I actually did it. And I was getting real sad and I was fake crying and I had tears literally flowing down my face, dropping on command. And even my friend Jenny was like, how the flip are you doing that? I'm like, flipping practice, man. Practice makes perfect. Well, no, that's not true, but practice can get you pretty gosh darn close. So yeah, I've been practicing crying because I'm a psycho. Yeah, you like that? I'm talking about the whales coming out scene. I think well, no, I'm gonna start having a coughing match because I got a tickle. Well, I saw my throat. No, please don't. What the flip? No. Please don't do this to me. I don't want it. Well, speaking of crying, now I am. So, hey, so yeah. Not only am I crying from my left eyeball, I'm actually crying from my left nostril. Give me a second. What the fuck? Okay. Another thing that didn't make sense was when Vecna got Holly's foot when they were running in the cave. And you're trying to tell me Derek pulled Vecna? That should not have been possible. Like, do you know how strong Vecna is in those vines on his arm? Again, it's okay if you were to want Holly to escape. You gotta find some other way. These aren't logical, they don't make sense. Okay, I somehow didn't talk about the ending of the entire show. So that scene when they were coming out and they were like all happy and we're like, oh, we won. The government was waiting for him because government stinks. And Elle sacrificed herself. But now let's talk about the ending. Because I believe, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure not a lot of people do. I do. Because he's right though. They had those things on. There's no way she could have used her power to say goodbye to Mike. And her nose wasn't bleeding. I don't know. I believe Mike's story. At the end, Mike said that she escaped. And that was a facade from number 8, Callie. And she didn't die. And they actually plotted this sort of thing. So we didn't see the full scene. Because in the scene when Callie got shot and she died, you saw her say, my story was always going to end here. And it cut that off. And that was the end of that. But that was because it was in the point of view of Hopper, and Hopper walked out of the room. Mike's story, she continues that and said, my story ends here, but yours doesn't have to. Ooh, come on, man. That's pretty flipping good. Come on. I actually liked the ending. I thought it was beautiful. I think how the full circle moment of them playing D&D, I thought that was just a beautiful full circle. You kind of saw a little snippet of what their futures would be like, and then they put the books at the end. They close that door, and you see the next generation, Holly and her friends, and Delightful Dare talking about farts. And I thought the ending was perfectly executed. I really do. But I'm a believer. It obviously wasn't perfect, and if they could go back, I'm sure they would and fix a lot of things. But we got what we got. I still enjoyed myself, although it sounded like I was just hating on it for however long this recording is. I think there were some beautiful moments. My biggest complaint is just the fact that they just could have done more with the lore that we got. It could have made it so much more in depth. But I saw this quote that said, art does not need mass approval to be meaningful. And I do love that, because at the end of the day, this is still art. I loved it still. So overall, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, maybe a little bit less than 7. Don't even think I had to say spoilers for any of this, because it's literally been out for a while now. Hey, you know what? I've heard they got some spin-offs. Maybe I'll be in one of them, huh? Someday. Oh, that's so funny. I love you guys. I have this video. I have a video of my brother that I have to finish editing. And I also have a super duper late review of Welcome to Derry, which was my favorite show of the year. I hope 2026 is treating you kindly. Let's not self-sabotage anymore. I'm a hypocrite by saying that, and I'm terrible at not doing that. But let's not. We owe it to ourselves to at least support ourselves and be kind to ourselves. Let's do things to better us, because you are great and you deserve good things. So with that being said, I'm not going to make this too sappy. I always say that and then I am just getting drenched in maple syrup. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome to the Upside Down. Now you are coming down. Yeah. Oh, I don't know where that tack went. A smile is something special. And I'll be special and I'll be rare. Okay.